Hey, what's up, podcast family? So let's talk about how we can take the old school methods of communicating to our prospects and put the new school spin on it. In this episode, I'm going to tell you how to use what you already know with the old methods and translate that into the new marketing methods that will not only reach your audience where they're at now, but give you exponential results over the old school ways. I'm going to go over 5 things today that are no longer working, and I'm going to give you their modern day replacement. I was listening to a podcast with Russell Brunson, and he was talking about how Tony Robbins got his career start back in the early 90s. And what he did was he just dominated the 3 TV channels. He bought infomercials that would show up all the time, and that's how he really built his brand. But we can do a similar thing, even though TV is saturated and really not a great advertising option for people like you and I. We can dominate the conversation by finding the channels where our audience is on and using video to get to them. You're probably watching this right now on either IGTV or YouTube. Those are 2 channels that you can dominate with your message. You can also post on Vimeo. You can post on Facebook. You can take video, make a really good, solid infomercial or educational video, and post it everywhere. You can also use paid ads to really speak to your target audience, put your video right in front of them the same way Tony did. It's not about the 3 big channels anymore, ABC, NBC, or CBS. It's about finding your audience where they're at. YouTube, Instagram TV, Facebook Live, etc. I have a great resource where I actually walk through exactly what I think you should use for your videos. It's called Video Domino. You can grab the free training at videodomino.live. Let's move to the second old school method of advertising that no longer works, and its modern day replacement. I remember sitting with my dad in the car, and we would be listening to the Dodger games on the drive. And then when we got home, we would run in and find the radio dial to, I think it was 710 down in Southern California, and listen to the Dodger games. But now we don't really listen to radio anymore. But how can you as an entrepreneur continue to leverage the power of audio? Podcasts. You're listening to my podcast right now. This is from my podcast episode. I have, people that tune in. I actually have 2 different podcasts. I have this one, the Your Marketing Coach podcast, which I've been blessed to be on many lists of top marketing podcasts when I love it. I've been doing it for a little over a year and a half. And then I have a new one, a very niche podcast for ClickFunnels affiliates. I call it the CF Affiliate Mastermind Podcast. And it's on all the major podcast channels. But here's the point. I have a very general podcast, this one, that reaches out, attracts people to me, lets them know who I am and how I can help serve them. Then I also have a very niche podcast, and that one's only been around for a little bit over a month now, and it has garnered a very cult-like following amongst that small community. You can use podcast to not only reach a general audience, but a very small niche audience with your message, your education, how you can serve them, your success stories, and just having fun and creating a deeper relationship with your audience. Radio may be dead, but podcasts are just beginning. I remember sitting around the kitchen table like this one that I'm at right now, and I would sit with my dad, and he would open up the newspaper, and he would start reading the news, and he'd hand over the section to me that he wasn't reading. I would always start with sports. And after I would flip through sports, and then when he was done with the news, I would give him the sports and he would give me the business section, because that was the other section that I like to read. And sadly, newspapers are dying. But how can we as entrepreneurs use the power of the written word to put our message in front of our target audience? Blogs. Blogs are big, and they're not going away. The blogging in and of itself has definitely changed. However, you and I can use blogs and the written word to get our message across in a really good way. Even if we're not writers, we can use the power of blogging and the power of the written word to get our message across and make sure that we can be found by people that are searching for us and our services. I go over this quite a bit inside of my VIP group, and I want to make you an offer to jump in. Go to alexbranning.com/VIP. hang out with me for a month. We do weekly live calls, and I'll help you get your blog set up during one of our calls. Also, another old school method, but I'm going to flip the script on you. This one actually works really good. Getting letters in the mail. One of the things that I started doing was actually putting letters in the mail for all of my new clients. They love it. It's amazing how many people will ignore emails in their inbox, including me. I don't read all the emails that come through, but I'll tell you what, when I get a package in the mail, I open that bad boy up, especially if it's addressed to me. You can use physical letters, I call them lumpy packages filled with something, and get right to the decision maker. So yes, sending letters, telegrams, etc., that's old school, but it still works, and I recommend that you look into ways to using physical mail to get yourself in front of your target prospects and keep yourself in front of your customers. All right, here's the last old school method, writing books. Here's the one I'm reading right now called Play Bigger. Book writing, though, while it's changed, it's just the entire book market is different. But I'll tell you what, when you write a book, when you put a book in someone's hand like this that you wrote, whoa, that completely changes the game. I wrote a book on how to use Pinterest, and you can grab a free version at freepinterestbook.com. It's yours for free. I'll ship it to you. But writing a book elevates you. It elevates you to your audience. It elevates you to your peers. And it puts you at a higher level, because now when you go out and you write a book, people see an author as like an expert, and it puts you to a different level, a different stratosphere within your industry. So book writing, it's old school, but it's not dead. So those are the 5 methods that are old school. 3 of them don't work anymore. You got to change it up and use new school methods. But 2 of them, yes, they have changed, but you can still use them to your advantage as you grow your business. If this message spoke to you, I'd love it if you would just shoot me a message over Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Look for me, Alex Branning. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have a great day and continue to push for new ways to reach your audience.